Good evening. The time is 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I'm Tom Edwards, welcoming you to tonight's broadcast of Radio Classics, coming to you live from Chicago. First, this look at the news. We begin with an election update. The head of the GSA, the General Services Administration, still has not gone ahead with the process known as ascertainment, ascertaining Joe Biden as the likely new president after the election, in other words. As a result, the Biden team still is not being granted full access to a number of federal agencies, nor to federal funding to help with hiring members of a new administration. However, inside sources now say that a handful of current Trump administration officials are quietly working around the formality on their own and making direct contact with the Biden people. The move is a sign that President Trump's refusal to concede the election is beginning to frustrate even those affiliated with him. The conversations are not as detailed as formal briefings would be under the past customary procedures, but they are giving the Biden team a sense of what the chief priorities will be after taking office. State judges in Arizona and Pennsylvania and a federal judge in Georgia have rejected lawsuits today from the Trump campaign. An unofficial tally now shows that as being 25 lawsuits that have been ruled against, withdrawn voluntarily, dismissed preemptively, or otherwise failed. The state of Georgia has finished its official audit and recount of the close results there, and President-elect Joe Biden defeated President Trump by just over 12,000 votes, according to a news release from the Georgia Secretary of State's office. Lastly, in one of the most turbulent public spectacles he has staged thus far, Trump's legal team leader, Rudy Giuliani, held a press conference today. In a wild, tangent-filled 90-minute session, both Giuliani and Associate Attorney Sidney Powell put on a display that was overflowing with falsehoods and conspiracy theories involving George Soros, quotes from comedic mobster movies, votes being counted in Spain, and dead Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez. At one point, Giuliani was filmed in a wild-eyed pose with perspiration running down his face in brown-colored streaks, presumably dissolved hair dye from his sideburns. Christopher Krebs, the top federal cybersecurity official who was fired by President Trump the night before last, called today's press conference some of the most dangerous television in U.S. history and possibly the craziest. Although Giuliani is being dismissed as a circus act in most quarters, this next clip from CNN examines the possibility that the Trump-Giuliani effort may have damaging effects, in that it plants the seeds of conspiracy theories among diehard Trump supporters. CNN's Drew Griffin reminds us of the fact that U.S. national security agents determined that Giuliani has been victimized once before by a Russian disinformation campaign. That involved a laptop computer supposedly belonging to Hunter Biden. Griffin considers the possibility that the Russians are once again interfering in Giuliani's latest activities.
Former federal prosecutor Ken McCallion, who specializes in Russian organized crime and once worked with Giuliani, believes Giuliani may be unwittingly doing the Russians' business in this election.
What they're doing is completely 100% in the interests of Russia, which is to create as much damage and confusion to the U.S.
Staunch Republican and former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton says it's a damaging strategy that won't end after Trump leaves office.
Real distrust in the system, casting doubt on the integrity of our electoral system, the constitutional process. The Russians and the Chinese couldn't ask for any more.
Griffin also talked to a number of past colleagues of Giuliani who suggest he has undergone severe cognitive decline, resulting in a lack of judgment. As far as a response to these antics from the Biden team, there is the following statement from senior legal advisor Bob Bauer. None of it is legally significant, he says. They are pivoting from a completely failed litigation strategy to a strategy of misleading people into believing that now he has a political option. It is a response to failure. It is the last card that he thinks he can pull from his deck, but his hand remains a completely losing hand. More news in just a moment.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
9:06 p.m. in other news, after 4 days of public outcry, Florida authorities have released a 60-second dash cam video of a deadly encounter with a sheriff's deputy that left 2 black teenagers dead in the coastal city of Cocoa Beach. The video offers a glimpse of what happened after deputies attempted to pull them over last week during what the sheriff described as an investigation into a possible stolen vehicle. Before the release of the video, authorities had provided few details about the deaths of the 2 young men, identified as Sincere Pierce, 18 years of age, and Angelo Crooms, 16. The deaths occurred as the nation is already grappling with protests following police killings of several African Americans, including George Floyd in Minneapolis and Breonna Taylor in Kentucky. Here is our nightly coronavirus update. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention today advised Americans not to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday to help prevent the spread of the virus. Dr. Henry Walke, the CDC's COVID-19 incident manager, said there is no more important time than now for each and every American to redouble our efforts to watch our distance, wash our hands, and most importantly, wear a mask. Health experts are warning that if Americans don't get more serious about wearing masks, the rate of deaths will continue to increase. The virus has caused an additional problem involving immunity for children to other maladies, including measles, whooping cough, and polio. The reason: the disruptions caused by the pandemic have prevented many parents from staying current with children's vaccinations. Nearly half of the parents and legal guardians surveyed by the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association said the pandemic has interrupted their children's vaccine schedules. This has resulted in a reduction of as much as 26% vaccinations compared to last year. This comes on the heels of an alert from the Center for Disease Control, which warned that in 2019, measles cases had reached the highest number in over 2 decades. Here are the current virus numbers from Johns Hopkins University Medical Center. Total cases now in the United States, 11,700,000, up from yesterday's figure by 200,000. The death toll currently stands at 252,400. That's 252,400, and that is up by 2,200 from yesterday's estimate. The financial markets and weather forecast in just a moment.
Fall and winter is flu season. It takes about 2 weeks after getting a flu vaccine for your body to develop antibodies that protect against flu. So don't wait. Get yourself and your family vaccinated today. Learn more at cdc.gov/fightflu.
On Wall Street today, modest movement to the upside on all three major indexes, all of them in fractions of a percent. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 45 to 29,483. NASDAQ up by 103 to 11,905. And the S&P 500 finished at 3,582. That's plus 14 points. Taking a look at the weather picture now, gusty winds out west along with elevated fire conditions continuing in parts of the plains. Wet weather in the nation's midsection for the weekend. Warmer than normal temperatures for much of the central and eastern U.S. through the remainder of the week, with temperatures anywhere from 10 to 25 degrees above average. For Chicagoland, the Weather Bureau says we will probably have rain on the weekend, but in the short term, partly cloudy tonight, breezy, low around 50. Tomorrow, Friday, mostly sunny, high of 59. Winds are expected to die down a bit. Friday night, mostly cloudy, low in the upper 30s. Then Saturday, we have a 30% chance of evening and overnight showers, and then 40% rain chance for Sunday daytime. Also a bit cooler, mid-40s both days. Currently, we have mostly cloudy and breezy conditions. 61 degrees at Midway Airport, Lakefront 60, relative humidity 35%. Winds are out of the southwest at 20, gusting to as high as 40 miles per hour. The Windy City indeed. AccuWeather radar is all clear. The time is 9:12 p.m. And once again, here at Radio City, we have 60 drafty degrees.
And now, here's more of Radio Classics with your host, Tom Edwards.
Making a living the old hard way, taking and giving my day by day. I did snow and rain and the bright sunshine. Dragging the line, dragging the line. My dog Sam eats purple flowers. Ain't got much, but what we got towers. We dig snow and rain and the bright sunshine. Dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line. I feel fine. I'm talking about peace of mind. I'm gonna take my time. I'm getting the good time. Dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line. Loving the free and feeling spirit of hugging a tree when you get near it, digging the snow and the rain and the bright sunshine. Dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line, dragging the line. I feel fine. I'm talking about peace of mind. I'm gonna take my time. I'm getting the good time. Dragging the line, 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 dragg Dragging them back, dragging them back, dragging them back.
Radio Classics, good tune from the 1960s, getting us started tonight. There we have Tommy James. Not a bad guess on Susan's part. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Right church, but not the right pew. Tommy James and the Shondells, that's who that was. Well, hello and welcome. Some of our usual good friends joining us tonight. I see Carlotta is on the board. Ronnie's here. Susan, Sherry, Mike, and a number of others listening in the background. My control panel shows me. I had a brief conversation this afternoon with the lovely lady, the manager of my apartment building, and she says she listens, and she doesn't participate on the chat board. It's just not her thing, but she does like to listen, and she enjoys catching up on all of the news. Gabriella, good friend Gabby, hello to you. At least I hope you're tuned in right now, and thanks for listening. Glad to hear that. Now, let's see. As usual, we have trivia to do for you tonight. We have some good pieces of music. I'm sure that Mr. J. Cat Rockefeller will see fit to give a word or two along the way. Did you see? I've got the photograph of it here. Hang on now just a minute. I'm going to post it for you to see here on the chat board. Did you see any of the video from this crazy news conference that Rudy G did this afternoon? I mean, it's like something awful from a movie. Now I've got it lined up. Let me post this for you. I'm clicking the right buttons just now as I'm speaking. As I said on my Facebook page earlier this evening, it looks like he's having an episode of religious stigmata. You know, in the church, I guess I shouldn't laugh about that, but kind of sacrilegious. But, you know, in the church, that's supposedly a phenomenon where you bleed from the hands or the feet or around the forehead, you know, from the crown of thorns, like the crucifixion. Stigmata. Here's Rudy. Did I push the button yet? There it goes. Look at him with the dripping down the sides of his face, perspiration, hair dye from his sideburns, and look at the wild look in his eye. Doesn't he? He looks like he's in a psychotic fugue or something. Well, he is. Like our news report at the top of the hour, the fellow from CNN reporting that he has talked to a number of Rudy's past colleagues, and they say that he's had some sort of mental breakdown, just a degradation in his mental condition, and he's acting gullible and showing a complete lack of judgment, and I don't know what all. It's really terrible. This is what's going on now in our political system. We have the U.S. president sending a nut like this out to argue in front of the cameras that the whole election was stolen, that Trump is the rightful president, and they want all of the electoral college mechanisms to be overturned and tip the election into Trump's favor, if tip is the right word, slant it, steal it, malignantly take it, and away from Mr. Biden and give it to Mr. Trump. Just because they want it, there doesn't seem to be much more reason that they're offering other than that. Biden's got it, but we want it. Well, you know, of course, what's at the root of this is that he's going to be subject to a lot of lawsuits and loans coming due and very, very likely prosecutions by the state of New York at the very least. So he's terrified. He's frightened to death of leaving that office. As an guest editorial, I should say, in the Washington Post made clear this afternoon, if the losing party in a two-party system can't accept defeat, then the whole enterprise of electoral democracy is in danger. Two-party competition means each party taking turns and playing fair, depending on what the verdict of the voters is in any given election. And when you've got one party refusing to accept an honest defeat, the system is in danger. Now, many of them are very late to the party already, but we need to keep our eyes on what the key Republicans are doing to see if they start peeling off from Trump. Some of them have. Some of the key players have. Ben Sass of Nebraska, Mitt Romney, of course, in Utah, a few others. But there are a lot of the big ones who are still either keeping quiet or they say these non-committal things like, well, he's got a right to take it to contest it in court and blah, blah, blah. They're late to the game, but we'll see. And where's Pence in all of this, I wonder? Where is the vice president? Of course, he's been a gutless wonder since day one, so I don't expect any great heroics from him. The screaming and crying and conspiracy mongering about all the voting machines in Georgia, at least, has been put to rest. They finished their hand recount of the paper ballots, and Mr. Biden won there by a little bit slimmer margin than was first determined, but still comfortable. Over 12,000, something in the range of 12,200. So there's no jeopardy there. And that's done. That is finished and done. The Secretary of State has signed off on it. Do you think that's going to shut the rest of them up? Doubtful. Final point to make. In yesterday's New York Times, I love this guy, Jamel Bowie. He pointed something out, and you know what? I had momentarily forgotten this, but it is so true. It is so accurate. One of the reasons Trump got a big share of the vote was the stimulus checks. You remember? He insisted that the government printing office put the name Donald Trump on the left-hand lower corner of those checks. I had forgotten all about that. But you know what? That is exactly right. There is a huge segment of the public, the Joe Six-Pack types. They see something like that and they figure Trump gave them the money. Look, Ma, $1,200 from the president. Why, he's a good guy. We'll be sure and vote for him again. And, Trump worked in television. He knows full well that there is a big segment of the public out there who are just that gullible. And, boy, he knows how to play them, doesn't he? That's Jamel Bowie, New York Times. He made that point, and I agree 1,000%. That is one of the reasons Trump got as many votes as he did, even though he's lost by 6 million and counting. All right, off to happier things now. We'll get our trivia game started, including the $5 Name the Performer portion, if you wondered what I was referring to when I started out by mentioning that Susan had hazarded a guess on Tommy James. This is how it works. Each record that we play throughout the night, if you can identify who the performer is, you pick up $5 extra in our trivia game. I'll tell you how all of that works coming right up.
Cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
Our friend Susan points out that Lindsey Graham has had a formal complaint lodged against him because he was trying to strong-arm people into cheating, calling the different officials in Georgia and Michigan and I don't know what all. Yeah, what's Kellyanne's husband's name? George. You know the guy I'm talking about. He was the former head of the ethics office. George, his name will come to me in a minute. I don't mind old age. It's what it does to you that I can't stand. My mind is like a sieve anymore. But George, my old pal George, he was one of the signatories on a formal complaint. They turned that over to the U.S. Senate and demanded that they look into that. Turn an investigation loose on Lindsey Graham. Yeah, they ought to. All right, now off to the races with our trivia game. We have a game show that we play here on our program, and we have the best contestants in all of cyberspace, in all of the world, in all of history. That would be you, and I am so glad you're here. We play for Monopoly money, and we have questions of various Monopoly dollar values, and whoever accumulates the most Monopoly dollars by the end of the broadcast wins a fabulous grand prize. Tonight, we are giving away the second of the prestigious, prime, profitable purple properties States Avenue. That's tonight's grand prize. Now, please remember, no search engines. Don't cheat on the honor system. It's much more fun that way. Draw from your own knowledge. Don't ask Alexa, and don't ask Siri, and don't ask Google or Yahoo. Be careful also about multi-part questions. We do those once in a while. And if it is a multi-part question, make sure you answer all of it. Otherwise, you run the risk of your entry being disqualified. Those are the simple rules and regulations. Now let's get the fun underway. Here we go. Question number 1. $25 TV trivia to get us going. This was an offbeat comedy from the mid-1960s. It ran for only 2 seasons, but it has been in syndicated reruns forever and ever. I'm talking about the Munsters, the friendly family of freaks. Name the actress who played the lady of the house, Lily Munster. All right, $25 TV trivia, this offbeat comedy from the 1960s, The Munsters. She was actually a Hollywood glamour girl, so this was a big change for her as far as role types. Tell me the name of the actress who played Lily Munster. And think hard about who's singing right now and pick up an extra $5.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said, Mama said. I went walking the other day and everything was going fine. I met a little boy named Billy Joe, and then I almost lost my mind. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said. My eyes were wide open, but all that I can see is the chapel bells are tolling for every one of me. But I don't worry, 'cause Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, and then she said, someone will look at me like I'm looking at you one day, and then I might find I don't want it any your way. So I don't worry, 'cause Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, hey, don't you worry. Mama said, hey, don't you worry now. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said there'll be days like
Well, no guesses on that one. Radio Classics bringing you the talents of the Shirelles, one of the fine 1960s girl groups. No guesses for the $5 name the performer on that. So the $5 goes into the J. Cat Rockefeller Treat Fund. Just to remind you of that. That's what happens to the unclaimed money. It buys treats at the local PetSmart. His favorite are the chicken flavor. I think he's up to about $70 or $80 now in the treat treasury. Now, let's see. Our trivia question, TV, we do have a winner on that. Let me collect all my paperwork here and get things in order, and I'll tell you all about it after this commercial word.
New from Standard Brands. Soft Bluebonnet margarine. Soft enough to spread on a potato chip. And Bluebonnet did it to demonstrate a great new margarine discovery. New soft Bluebonnet. So soft it spreads on anything. From thinnest crackers to softest white bread. Just taste that great Bluebonnet flavor. And it's low in saturated fat. 2 table service tubs in every pound. Everything's better with Bluebonnet on it.
Everything's better. Oh, yes, Susan points out that Rocky has $10 tonight because the $5 on Tommy James and the Shondells went unclaimed, too. All right, audience, round of applause for trivia winner round 1, and that's Ronnie. Good job. Ronnie got the TV trivia question right. Yvonne DiCarlo was the actress who played Lily Munster. Absolutely right, Yvonne DiCarlo. Now, British lady, ring your bell. Let's look up today's word of the day in the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Word of the day.
Our word is reprove. R-E-P-R-O-V-E. Reprove. The definition is to scold or correct, usually of the gentle kind of scolding, with kindly intent, like when you're trying to put an errant child back on the right path. Definition number 2, to express disapproval of. We have words like reprove, rebuke, reprimand, admonish, reproach, and chide. All of them mean to criticism. Reprove suggests, as I said, the light kind, the constructive kind, whereas rebuke, for example, suggests a sharper criticism. That's our word of the day, reprove, from the dictionary people at m-w.com.
It's new. It's the newest spearmint.
The coolest spearmint.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
The chilliest.
Most refreshingest. New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum. The truest spearmint flavor that starts lively. Spearmint flavor that stays lively. The flavor's in it. The flavor's on it.
In each minty green swirl.
You can taste the added flavor. You can see the added flavor.
In each flavorful frosty green mint swirl.
It's the newest, coolest, mintiest flavor ever put in one stick of gum.
From Beech Nut.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
More flavor to choose. More flavors to choose. The flavor starts lively. The flavor stays lively. By Beech Nut. By Beech Nut. By gum.
Try Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
Here we go with question number 2. Ronnie is our sole entrant on the board at the moment with $25. Second question of the night, $20 this time. Sweets and treats, our category. I'm going to read you the ingredients off the wrapper, and you tell me which popular candy bar it is from. Okay? Milk chocolate, which consists of sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter, non-fat milk, milk fat, lactose, soy, lecithin, and natural flavors, and crisped rice, which is rice flour, sugar, barley, malt, and salt. Dextrose and artificial coloring round everything off. It's 230 calories. All right, $20. Sweets and treats. The ingredients off the wrapper, and you tell me the candy bar I'm talking about. Milk chocolate, which consists of sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter, non-fat milk, milk fat, lactose, soy, lecithin, and natural flavor. But here's the key that ought to give it to you. Crisped rice. C-R-I-S-P-E-D. Crisped rice. Okay? By the way, there's a little U in the circle, the symbol for kosher, which is a cool thing, if that helps. But I think most candies are, so that probably ain't going to do it for you. All right, it's 9:33 p.m., 27 minutes before 10 o'clock at Radio Classics. Coming to you live from the windy city of Chicago. Somebody shut the door or the window. I think the bugs are getting in. You hear them?
Lonely nights, I cry myself to sleep. Tell me, what am I gonna do? 'Cause it's always been you to dry my tears. It's always been you to wash away my fears. It's always been you. Night and day. Now what can I say when love slips away? Lonely night, I'm walking the floor. Tell me, what am I gonna do without your precious love? used to call me angel face. You used to help me through the night, make me feel alright. Now all I have is teardrops through a lonely night. You used to call me angel face. You used to help me through the night, make me feel alright. Now all I have is teardrops through a lonely night. I can't get you out of my mind. 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 I can't get you.
I can't get you out of my mind, and I can't get you out of my house. Stay too long. Go. Just kidding. I'm glad you're here. There we have the voice of the captain and Tennille. Just to make absolutely certain, I consulted the Bible of pop music compiled by record guru Joel Whitburn, and the captain is definitely billed as the co-singer on that one, because we had a guest come along for Tony Tennille, but I double-checked it. It is Captain and Tennille. And for that one, Carlotta picks up the other $5. Now, as far as the trivia question, oops, no winner on that one. We had some good guesses, some scattershot answers, but nobody came up with a full and precise title. We were looking for the Nestle Crunch Bar. That's its full and complete name, the Nestle Crunch Bar. We'll see if you can do better on the next round of trivia coming up in just a moment.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. That's the real thing. I'd like to teach the world to sing. To perfect harmony. Perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing. What the world wants today.
I'm kind of on a sugar high already tonight from snacking on candy bars. I don't want any Coke, but some hot tea would be good. Some imaginative guesses on our last trivia game. Now, we have one friend who's on board tonight, hasn't identified him or herself with a nickname just yet. It just says guest on my screen here on the chat board, but he says that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could be part rice and part chocolate. Okay, good guess. Now, let's see, where do we stand? Our scoreboard is as follows. Ronnie's in the lead with 25, and Carlotta is in second place with 5. I have a musical request lined up. Our friend Caroline from Boston requested this a night or two ago, so I have that coming right up. But before we get to it, let's have our next trivia question. This time we're looking at geography. Okay, $30. Geography. Islamabad is the 9th largest city and the capital city of what South Asian country? $30 the value, geography the category. Islamabad is the 9th largest and capital city of what South Asian country?
We're more than just friends. It might seem like a crush, but that doesn't mean that I'm serious. But to lose all my senses, that's just so typically me. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again. I play with your heart, got lost in the game. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love? I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent.
days. You see, I'm a fool in so many ways. But to lose all my senses, it's just so typically me. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again. I play with your heart and got lost in the game. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love. I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. With your heart, got lost in the game. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love. I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. With your heart, got lost in the game. Ooh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love. I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent.
I plead guilty. I'm not that innocent. There we have Richard Thompson on Radio Classics. And thanks to our friend Caroline in Boston for suggesting that one. And we have a winner on our trivia game. I'll tell you about that, but first let's pay a visit to our history teacher, as is our custom this time of night. That was the wrong... Wait a minute. There we go. This date in history, the 19th of November. As we look back in time, I was waiting for that little sound effect. All right, on this date in 1863, at the dedication of a military cemetery in Pennsylvania during the Civil War, President Lincoln delivered one of the most memorable speeches in American history. What was it again? Oh, yes, the Gettysburg Address. Memorable speech. 1969, on this date, soccer legend Pelé scored his 1,000th goal. 1975, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest opened in theaters. 1976, Patricia Hearst, granddaughter of the legendary publishing mogul William Randolph Hearst, was released on bail pending an appeal of her conviction for participating in a 1974 bank robbery. Boy, what a weird chapter that whole thing was. You remember? Patty Hearst, kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation Army terror group. They tortured her, and then they stuck her on camera, brainwashed her into becoming one of their members, and she renounced her family and advocated the overthrow of the government. All kinds of crazy stuff. 1985, on this date, U.S. President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev held their first summit meeting. They met two more times in 86 and 87. Famous birthdays today: Charles I, King of England from 1625 to 1649. He was born in the year 1600. Quick, how many candles? 420 is right. Go to the head of the class. James Garfield, 20th U.S. President, born 1831. Billy Sunday, American evangelist, born 1862. Chicago, the town that Billy Sunday could not shut down. Yeah, that Billy Sunday. The late actor Clifton Webb was born this date, 1889. Indira Gandhi, fourth Prime Minister of India, 1917. The late actress Jean Tierney, born 1920. She and the aforementioned Clifton Webb were both in the film Laura, if you recall. Baseball Hall of Fame catcher Roy Campanella, born 1921. The late Jean Kirkpatrick, first woman to serve as American ambassador to the United Nations, 1926. A lot of famous birthdays today. Larry King, radio and TV host, is celebrating number 87. Another famous talk show host, Dick Cavett, is 84 today. Media mogul Ted Turner, founder of CNN, number 82. The late Garrick Utley, longtime TV news reporter and anchorman, 1939. Fashion designer Calvin Klein is 78. If you're a Star Trek fan, actor Robert Beltran, Commander Chakotay, is 67 today. And actresses Meg Ryan, 59. Jodie Foster, 58. Finally, a musical birthday boy today, American trombonist and big band leader. Now, the singers you're going to hear are easily identifiable. Frank Sinatra and the Pied Pipers. Look at Me Now from 1941. But if you tell me the orchestra leader, the birthday boy today, that'll earn you the extra $5. Good luck.
I'm not the guy who cared about love, and I'm not the guy who cared about fortunes and such. Never cared much.
Oh, look at you now.
I never knew the technique of kissing. I never knew the thrill I could get from your touch. Never knew much.
Oh, look at you now. You're a new man, better than Casanova at his best.
With a new heart, a brand new start, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest.
So you're the guy who turned out a lover.
Yes, I'm the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. One of those things.
But look at you now.
He's not the guy who cared about love, and he's not the guy who cared about fortunes and such. Cared about much, but look at him now.
I'm a lover.
He never knew the technique of kissing. He never knew the thrill he could get from her touch. Never knew much, but look at him now.
Man, I really come on.
He's a new man, better than
Casanova at his best, rider.
With a new start, a brand new heart.
He's so proud he's busting his vest. So he's the guy who turned out a lover. So he's the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. One of those things.
But look at me now.
He's a new man, better than Casanova at his best. He's got some new jive and it's really fine.
Why, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest.
He's a lover. Yes, we know he's a lover. Yes.
I laughed at those blue diamond rings. Just one of those things.
But look at him now.
Jack, I'm ready.
Look at him now.
There we have the talents of the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. And Carlotta picked up a $5 on that one. Good job. Also, audience round of applause on the previous trivia question. Also, Carlotta. Good job. Our geography category, $30. Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. So let's see, $30 plus 10 for a couple of Name the Artist wins. Carlotta takes the lead with $40. Ronnie is in second place with $25. Here we go with our next question. And this time we're looking at TV trivia, $25 the value. This was a mystery show, usually a murder mystery, and the show was named after the host. I'm going to play you a little bit of the opening theme song. All right, first correct answer on the board, $25 TV trivia. Here's your clue.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening to you, too. And now, tell me the name of the show.
The greatest sound in town.
Here he comes. The fabulous talents of Mr. Henry Mancini and his orchestra. And Carolyn picks up the $5 on that one. Nice job. We got a lot of money to give away, so let's have a round of applause for all the contestants. Good job. Carolyn picks up a $5 on Henry Mancini's orchestra. Sherry caught the TV trivia question for $25, Alfred Hitchcock. And from the last round, Carlotta hit the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra accompanying Frank Sinatra. He was the musical birthday boy. So let's run down the full totals now on our scoreboard. Carlotta is in the lead with 40. We have a tie for second place, Ronnie and Sherry, 25 apiece, and Caroline at $5. Stay tuned. We'll come up with another question in just a moment.
Snap, what a happy sound. Snap is the happiest sound I've found. You may clap, rap, tap, slap, but snap makes the world go round. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. I say it's crackle, the crispy sound. You gotta have crackle or the clock's not wound. Geese cackle, feathers tickle, bells buckle, beats pickle, but crackle makes the world go round. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. I insist that pop's the sound. The best is missed unless pop's around. You can't stop hopping, the cereal's popping. Pop, makes the world go round. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. Let's go for Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Snap, it's crackle, what a happy sound. You gotta have crackle or the sound not bound. You can't stop hopping when the cereal's popping. Snap, crackle, pop, makes the world go round.
All right, here's our final question of the night. Movies, the category. Movies, $25. This was a remake of a 1963 film which starred Jerry Lewis. It is a comedic takeoff on the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde theme. This is a 1996 remake. It starred Eddie Murphy. Tell me the name of the film. They use that same name for both the 63 and the 96 versions. Okay? Movies, the category, $25 value. We're looking at a classic film from 1963 starring Jerry Lewis. It was remade using the same title with Eddie Murphy some 33 years later. Tell me the name of that film.
Frank Sinatra and Rosemary Clooney for 3 new lines of Ford. There's a big, wide, wonderful world of new Fords.
Newly proportioned for you, Fords.
A beautiful, wonderful new world of Fords.
First, the new Ford line.
Live a wondrous new life in the Fords of a lifetime. The finest new Fords of a lifetime. The beautiful, wonderful new 60 Fords. The new size Ford, the Falcon.
Falcon, the new size Ford Falcon, you'll find that the new size Ford Falcon's the easiest car in the wide world to own.
And the Thunderbird.
Thunderbird,
finest of fine cars, the last word. In Wish It Were Mine cars, the dream car of the wonderful new world of Ford. See them at your Ford dealer now.
All right, 9:57 p.m., 3 minutes till 10 o'clock. So it's quitting time. Time for me to get the heck out of here, but I have enjoyed it. And Mr. J. Cat Rockefeller just came in from the other room. I think he was having a nap. Oh, you were watching TV again, huh? What's your favorite show? Oh, yeah, the Big Cat Diary on on the educational channel. He likes that one. Oh. Now, he's playing with the keyboard. He's probably going to knock me off the air. He has done that once or twice in the past. So if the sound suddenly goes dead, you'll know who the culprit is. All right, Maestro, could we have our closing theme? And now let's settle up the trivia game. Okay, we had a winner on the last question, the movie category. Ronnie picked up $25 on The Nutty Professor. Good job. All right, audience, how about a nice round of applause for all of our contestants? We have our guest friend who guessed A Horse Named Ed. That was a good TV show when I was a kid. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. I don't know if that's my friend Mike or if that's my good friend Kathleen masquerading behind that name, but one or the other. I think I recognize you. Anyway, we are glad you came aboard. All right, our final scoreboard looks like this. Caroline had 5, Sherry 25. Second place winner tonight, Carlotta with 40. And thanks to that last movie category win, Ronnie pulled into the lead with $50. Nice job. So Ronnie wins that purple prize tonight, States Avenue. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow night. We make our switch next week to the new time and channel. But for the rest of this week, which is tomorrow night, Friday, we'll still be here at same time, same place. So I'll talk to you then. Keep your mask on whenever you go out in public. Okay? Please stay safe. Bye for now.